But it did not end well for me. I see some of your family have been texting in, mate. Adam says, please tell Mr. Townsend if he continues with football not to leave talkSPORT. He's awesome.
Cheers, Dad.
Troy, I was going to say Troy from London. Says, absolutely love listening to Andros Townsend. What about me? Hey? It's all about him. There's two of us here. What about the team behind the glass? It's not just Andros. You're very good, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Pochettino back to Spurs. Can you believe it?
If we were having this conversation in a year's time, I would believe it, because I felt the way Pochettino left, it was kind of left on good terms. Daniel Levy, and they both kind of said, let's go our separate ways and see what happens in the future. But I think it may be a year too soon. Pochettino hasn't done what he wanted to do yet at PSG. Spurs have obviously gone a different route and it's failed. So I think it might be too soon, and Tottenham still haven't done what Pochettino left in the first place. Pochettino left because he asked for a rebuild that wasn't given to him. So if he goes back before that rebuild has even been put into place, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I kind of do. I'm a little bit puzzled by the whole thing, really, because he's got the job at PSG. Yeah. He hasn't had a full season yet. Okay, so I'm going to cut him some slack there. But at Spurs, he finished third in a 2-horse race, and at PSG, he's finished second in a 1-horse race. So, see that, I mean, he's still got a lot to prove before he's being sought after. And then on the flip side of that, Andros, I'm thinking, why on earth? It doesn't look like he's going to be sacked at PSG. Yeah. Which, you know, and fair play. I mean, they're giving him a full season. You know, he's going to take advantage of that. So why are people talking about him going back to Spurs? Why would he leave PSG to go to Spurs? I don't get that bit.
See, I have the same problem with you. Oh, of course, he loves Spurs, yes. But I don't think it's time yet. I think he went to PSG to answer those questions, to put those questions to bed that, Pochettino can't win anything. All these questions, nice manager, good football, but can't win anything. And if he leaves now, he's left even more questions. He's gone to PSG, like you said, it's a 1-horse race and he finished second. But a manager like Pochettino, it takes time to improve the squad. It's all about hard work on the training pitch, as opposed to some managers come in, they make you feel good, they give you days off, and you have that sort of initial bounce. But Pochettino's a long-term project, and I can't see him leaving not even a year into his project at PSG.
I mean, Simon Jordan was in that bit there saying that, he I know you're not a fan, but he left Tottenham 14th in the Premier League table. It wasn't going great. I do have a different take on that, and that is, I mean, that season, the top four broke away, if you remember. And by the time Pochettino left, Liverpool were top, Leicester, Chelsea, Man City were the top four, and they were 8 points ahead of, and guess who was fifth? Do you know who was fifth?
No, go on.
Sheffield United were fifth. Amazing. Wow. And then Arsenal. So, Tottenham at that point were 14th, but they were 3 points off the top six.
See, this is when there's stats without any context, and that's Simon Jordan all over. But, I feel like they were 14th because of Pochettino knew they were going to be 14th. He said it after the Champions League final. He said, we need a rebuild. This team has come to the end of the line. I need a rebuild. I think he told 6 or 7 players that he wanted them to go. He wanted to sell them. And when you do that, and then in July the 1st, those players are still there, it's never going to work out, because you've got players that know that the manager doesn't want them there.
Let's have a look at the lineup that he had at Spurs for the last game, which was against Sheffield United, 1-1 draw. And actually, I was at the game, and I think Sheffield United were robbed by VAR that day.
I remember that,
Gazaniga was in goal. Obviously, normally it'd be Lloris. Aurier and Davis, the fullbacks. Sanchez and Dyer at centre-half. Sissoko and Ndombele, the 2 in front. Then the 3 were Lo Celso, Dele Alli and Son. And obviously Kane up front. It's not actually a bad 11, is it, really? I mean, maybe some of them now you probably wouldn't go with, but...
No, Pochettino, he was going through a bad run. Things weren't disastrous. They were just going through a bad spell. And that's what you saw from Pochettino towards the end of his Spurs career. And Daniel Levy just felt that to get Spurs to have a successful season, he had to sack Pochettino. And I think it was a see you later as opposed to a goodbye.
Okay. I mean, the time has got to be right for, the return. And if he goes off, if now he goes and wins the Champions League with PSG, Spurs are going to be way down the agenda. He's not going to be wanting to go back there.
I disagree.
Do you?
I think once he wins the lot with PSG, which I believe he will do, I think he'll go to the club that he loves, and I believe that's Spurs.
We're waiting a long time for him to do something really special. I think we can all see, and you've worked with him. I mean, we can all see him make players better. Look what he did with Dele Alli when they were working together. Yeah. And since then, Dele's not been the same player really. So personally, I don't think he should have been sacked. I thought it was a really odd decision at the time. Really odd decision because you're only into November. Everybody's having problems with VAR. It's a kind of weird things going on, and they haven't hit the ground, but they're recovering from a Champions League final defeat. So I thought it was a very strange decision to let him go.
That's why I felt like it was more. Daniel Levy saying, I need to do this because we're going to finish 15th, 16th, and lose out on Champions League, Europa League money, and new stadium to pay for. So I think it was a necessity for Daniel Levy as opposed to him wanting to get rid of Pochettino. That's why I felt, and afterwards they both spoke about their love for each other, how one day maybe they can work together again. So I can see Pochettino back at Spurs at some stage, but until he proves his doubters wrong, until he wins the lot with PSG, I can't see him going back.
One thing on that, he's an emotional guy, isn't he, Pochettino? I remember hearing you talk on air about his little romantic walks with Danny Rose. I know you can see it because he is such an emotional guy. Everybody saw it in the Ajax semi-final. He's like, he will show his emotions and he will act on them. He's a passionate man. And if Daniel Levy has the right conversation with him now, I can actually see him again acting on those emotions and trying to go back and put right what went wrong. Now? Yes, I can. Because he's so emotional. That will override. The emotions will override common sense. Now, we all know it. It'll all go wrong when that happens.
Yeah. But if he was jobless, I'd probably agree with you. But he's in one of the most attractive jobs in the world. So I don't see why you would get yourself out of that to go somewhere else.
That is a great point. It depends how deep his love is for Tottenham Hotspur.
There's no doubt he's deeply in love with Tottenham Hotspur.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. With Pochettino, that's how it works.
Surely if you're sacked by that club, that's got to affect the love.
Yes, but then so you break up with your partner and then a year later your partner comes to you and said, I'm so sorry, I want you back, I was wrong. You can have what you want, you can do this, you can do that. Then, do you know what I mean?
You've been there as well. If that happens and Levy goes to him now and says, right, I was wrong, let's do the rebuild, come back to Tottenham, I can see the emotional Pochettino saying, I'm there.
But it's not that easy. He's got to break out of his PSG contract. He's halfway through a project, and one thing I know about Pochettino is he loves his projects. And to break out of that within 6 months, I can't. I'm a Spurs boy. I'd love to see it happen. For me, Pochettino is the best manager in the world, but I just can't see how it happens at this stage.
You still believe that? He's the best.
He's the best manager in the world that hasn't proved it yet. Hasn't shown the general public, because I've worked for him. I've worked under him for 2 or 3 years. I believe he's the best manager in the world, and his reputation at Spurs and what he's done at Spurs proves that. But unfortunately, to the general public, they only care about trophies, and so unfortunately, he hasn't proved it yet.
Okay, so let's clear this up because I'm a little bit slightly confused, but I think I've just grasped it. Yeah. He will feel, I want to carry on this project at PSG, and if they don't want to sack him, then you think that's going to happen, but Spurs should do all they can to try to get him back?
Oh, of course. If I'm Daniel Levy, I'm doing all I can. I'm serenading him. I'm sending him WhatsApp voice notes. I am throwing the kitchen sink to get Pochettino back.
Okay, let's throw that out there. 08717 22 33 44.